we are so humbled to have a great father, a learned man of God, and a father that the youth really loves and admires so much. His life here with us, and it's a great humility. I introduce Apostle Christian Tsekpoe, Doc, PhD. Yes. Yes, so we have Apostle Dr. Christian Tsekpoe. This is not the other doctors. We have a lot of doctors, and some own they have conferred on other people. But him is a PhD apostle. Papa, we humbly we humbly welcome you to Asa TV.
Thank you.
Yes, it's such a great honor to have you here. It's not easy having you. You are a busy man. You are very busy. You have a lot of swamped schedules, and today is the day the good Lord has made. Today we are looking at personality profile, ministry, and book review. So we'll look at the time. We have personality profile, ministry, and book review. If you are here, I want you to share this link for someone to also connect live with us, because today we are really going to learn a lot. You'll be inspired. I don't know where you are connecting live from, but just share for someone to also connect with us. My name is Michael Asante, an elder of the Church of Pentecost and also the president of Asa TV. So, Apostle, who is Apostle Dr. Christian Tsekpoe, if I may ask? So.
Yeah, Apostle Dr. Christian Tsekpoe is currently a minister of the Church of Pentecost.
Wow.
I'm the resident minister of A-Lang Worship Center in Odoko area. Yeah. And I also double as the head of ministerial formation and training at the Pentecost School of Theology and Mission in Pentecost University.
Wow. So Daddy has been training most of those who are called into full-time ministry.
Exactly. So pastors who have been called in the full-time ministry of the Church of Pentecost, that department that trains them, I head that department.
Wow.
But it's also the department that is responsible for ministers' wives training and also responsible for the elders training course that have been introduced recently under the Vision 2018. And it's also the same department that looks at short courses, including advanced ministers refresher course for pastors who are already on the field and want to come and update their knowledge. So anything about training and ministerial formation, that's where I am.
Wow. We thank God so much. Where do you come from, your family and education?
Yeah, my hometown is Amfoiga, Wadamahe, in the Volta region. It's very close to Kwando. Yeah, so that's where I come from. Actually, I stayed with my dad, who was a bodyguard at my tender age, up to somewhere in the middle before there was some scatter in the family. I'll talk about that one later. Yeah, so but we grew up in a town called Nive. It's a border town close to home. So that's where I grew up from kindergarten to middle school form 4. I went through the old system. Yeah, to middle school form 4. Then I continued to secondary school at Kweje. So I attended Kweje Secondary School, Form 1 to 3, and then I had to transfer to a hometown and join my brother and continue from Form 4 to Form 5 at Amfoigan Secondary School. But somehow I didn't get all my grades, especially the English language, so I have to go and do remedials. So I went to Adaklu Secondary School. Then I had to resit all the papers. Even though I needed only the English, I had to resit all the papers. But because they do not have an exam center there, we wrote our exams at Ola Secondary School in Ho, which is a girls' school. Surprisingly and proudly, when the result came, my result slipped best. Ola Girls Secondary School.
Wow.
That's a strange one. It makes my story rich.
Wow, very.
So I attended 3 secondary schools before I could finish successfully and get the grades to continue in life.
Wow. So, beloved, if you are watching us live on Asa TV, we have Apostle Dr. Christian Tsekpoe, or Apostle Christian Tsekpoe, PhD, who is the head of ministerial formation and training at Pentecost University, formerly Pentecost University College, so now Pentecost University. And I know you are learning a lot from this. That is the reason why we are bringing this interview to you. And kindly share to bless someone, the youth, especially the youth. Realize that Daddy said when he was coming up, he didn't get all his grades right, so he needed to rewrite. So whatever thing you are going through, there is one great man who made mention that life will not give you what you deserve, but what you fight for. So Daddy was determined to make it, and he didn't take it lightly. It wasn't easy for him, but he was able to come out successfully. Now he's a PhD candidate. So I know for me, I've really learned something out of this interview within just the exposition. So kindly share to bless someone. Yeah. So welcome, Apostle, once again. Yeah. So we're looking at your education. So from there.
Yeah. So from there, after I finally got my O levels, and as you rightly said. Sometimes I listen to interview and it looks like many people who make it in life have been great from their childhood. My case has not been like that. I have never been among the very brilliant students in class. I have never been among the first three kind of group right from primary school growing up. And even in class 2, I jokingly say that one gentleman saved me so that I was not last. A class of 40 people, I managed to grab number 39. At least I got one person behind me. That's the kind of life I began with. But finally, I managed to get my O levels at the second attempt. And then I went to teacher training college, specifically Peki Training College, now Peki College of Education, where I read my certificate in education. Then I was posted to teach. So I taught for 3 years. And then I wrote A levels private, got that one once sitting, I got it, and then I went to UCC. But before I got to UCC, I had to do some jobs. In fact, even before I went to training college, I thought that after secondary school I wouldn't continue. So I settled to learn building. So I joined my brother who was in the field already. I joined as a laborer, and then I learned to become a mason. And then finally, I was a foreman, supervising projects for him. So when I went to the training college, every holidays, I still go to the field. When I was in the university, I was still going to the construction field. So I am very versed in building and construction. At least some of the practical things like block laying, plastering, laying of tiles, and few other things. I'm very good at that.
Wow.
So I ended up at the university after my A levels. I went and read home economics. Specifically, I did food and nutrition. So I'm a caterer by profession.
Hey.
Yeah. So when I completed, I was fortunate to be posted back to my alma mater, the training college I attended. Then it had become College of Education. So I was then a tutor at the Peki College of Education. Within 2 years, I have risen through the ranks to become the head of department for the pre-vocational skills department just before my call into full-time ministry. Then I came to Pentecost University.
Wow.
In Pentecost University, somehow the general council of the church, that time Apostle Ntumi was the chairman, and Apostle Alfred Kodria was the general secretary. Graciously, they decided that 3 of us in our batch should continue the theological education until we do the degree. So myself, Apostle Kapeto, and Apostle Anthony Kwatin, the 3 of us did 3 years. So I had another first degree in addition to the home economics, now theology.
Wow.
So somehow I was sponsored again by the Church of Pentecost to do my master's in theology. So I did my master's at Akrofi Christella Institute for Theology and Mission in Akropong. So I did my master's there. And then, once in ministry, the opportunity came. That time, Apostle Professor Foko Nyina had become the chairman. Another opportunity came for me to study my PhD in Oxford Center for Mission Studies. And so I enrolled.
That's UK?
In UK.
Wow.
Yes, in UK. It was a modular program. It required that every year I go to on campus for at least 6 weeks in a year. So I was doing that, going to UK, coming back to pastor, going to UK, coming back to pastor every year. And it was tough though, because combining full-time ministry work, PhD, and by that time I had become a lecturer also, and lecturing at the same time was quite tough, but God gave us the grace. By 2020 we were able to finish our PhD, and currently that's what we are using. And as God has designed it, just this year 2023 I have got another scholarship to do postdoctoral research with the Fuller Theological Seminary. And so that also gave me the opportunity to be appointed as a research faculty for Fuller Theological Seminary. So I'll be studying and also teaching at the same time as a research faculty.
The seminary is at where?
It's in US.
US, okay.
USA. Specifically, it's in Pasadena, in California.
Wow.
Yeah, so that is where I've got my postdoc, and I've started actually. I started 1st July. Looking into the future and going. Yeah, so that's what I'm doing now.
First of all, you are so blessed. In fact, your life is a great inspiration for the youth. I think yesterday, I was with one head of airline head, and I was saying they were conducting recruitment, and during the recruitment, they were degree holders. And they told them that they will take care of baggage. So baggage, they will be handling baggage at the airport. Oh, most of them turned on me, baggage. Undo. Then they went, undo. One guy said he will handle it, not knowing it was a means to get what they need. And so most of them said we will not. Then they left. Okay, but one person said, I'll do it. Okay, so looking at Daddy's profile, realize that he has been a mason before. Okay, this is just the glory of God. It is to the glory of God. So wherever you find yourself today, that's not the end. Bible said, better is the end of a matter than beginning thereof. So wherever you find yourself, keep striving, keep moving. You can make it. If today our daddy is here, look at the opportunities that are unfolding itself for him. Okay, and he keeps on moving higher and higher. Daddy is a great inspiration. Daddy, today I've seen the reason why the youth loves you so much, because I've been asking. I don't know what's so special about Apostle. Today I've really seen it. Yes. You are a great inspiration, and you are a great man too. You're a great man. So, can you tell us how you encountered Christ before the ministry?
Okay, before I even go to how I encountered Christ, I think there are a few other things I need to just mention because of the issues we talked about. And I'm interested sharing some of these background stories because somebody may think that life has not treated him well, or things are not going well, and they think that is the end of their life. But it's not the end at all, because what I have seen about how God can transform the nobodies and make them into somebodies. It's been amazing. My life is full of testimonies. Yes, so of course, like I said, I started from nowhere, have no hope, no understanding of where my life was going to end. And then finally, I see all these things unfolding. But at a point in time in life, we also had a challenge in our family where my mother had a sickness that was quite disturbing. I was then about 6 years old, and so my father tried healing, all kinds of means. Of course, even though they go to church, we were born into a certain church, but it looks like we have not encountered Christ. The whole family has not encountered Christ. So he doesn't even know the difference between churches. So he went to certain churches, they asked him to buy candles, Florida water, and few things, and he did them. The sickness was still not going. Then my father concluded that God cannot do it. So it's the juju people who do it. So he went to the juju people and kind of they also tried and did all that they could. The situation even became worse. So my father was left with no other option but to go and divorce the sick woman. It's not a sickness that will make you lie down, but it's a disgraceful sickness that will make everybody reject you. He started from just drink alcohol and drink off her head. A woman who doesn't even really know how to drink, just all of a sudden started drinking and drink off her head and wouldn't even know where she is or what she's doing. Even to the extent that she said there was a time, according to her own testimony, she has ever traveled with me through to Togo, somewhere in Tsekpoe, and left me in the market and returned. 3 days, she couldn't find me. I couldn't find my mother. I was young though. I couldn't remember all the story, but she remembers today vividly. So it was quite a difficult situation. My father has to divorce, married a new wife, and unfortunately, the new wife didn't want to see the sick woman's children in the house, so we have to be off hope. So we were left on our own. Our father was alive, but we didn't have a father. Our mother was alive, but we didn't have a mother. And so we struggled through life. We struggled. In fact, until I got to training college, which I'll talk about later, I never knew when I was growing up that you can get 3 square meals a day. No. If you are lucky to get one, then you thank God you have got 1 meal. So that's how we grew. But somehow, God encountered this woman 15 years after that disgraceful sickness. Just one day. She said, that's normal. No, she was a big chop bar operator before the thing happened. A chop bar collapsed, everything was gone, and she left the town where she was walking for many distances to towns. In fact, according to the story, when it started, I followed her. Wherever she was going, I'll follow her crying. Children will be throwing stones at us here and there and that kind of thing. And so when my uncles thought that this cannot continue, then they came and took me away from her. Unfortunately, when they also took me away, they didn't take care of me alone. They left me. So it was left with me and my siblings. We were 3. I was my mother's last born. So my sister, who is 5 years older than me, my brother, who is 3 years older than me, and myself. The 3 of us. And as at the time, I was 6. So my brother should be 9. And then my sister should be 11. So you can imagine how 11, 9, 6 can take care of themselves. It was just war. But God was gracious to us.
Hallelujah.
And finally, and one day the woman just was walking in Pando, and then she saw a woman operating a chop bar. So she went to the woman and said that I'm also a chop bar operator. I want to come and help you. She was dirty. If you look at her, you would think she was a mad person. So this chop bar operator saw this mad woman might be hungry. So let me give her some food. Maybe she will go. They gave her food. She ate the food, and of course, the way she ate showed that she was hungry. But she didn't go. She was still sitting there. And the way she was, if she sits in your chop bar, nobody will come and buy your food. And the woman goes to church. So she didn't have the courage to sack her. She said, okay, if this woman will not go, please give her some water to bath and change her dress. So she gave out clothes. She went and bathed. They gave her new clothes and she changed. And she sat there, not talking to anybody, not doing anything. She sat there the whole day until they closed. Then the woman was like, hey, as for this visitor, it's a great one. Oh. Okay, so they have closed. And the woman said, okay, me, the only thing I know is church. Oh, if you not go, then follow us to church. She followed them. And so when they went, fortunately, that evening, they were doing a rally, a local rally. Even the pastor was not there, presiding and few people doing rally. And then when they were doing the altar call, the woman held her hand and said, you to go. So she went and stood there. When they asked the people to raise their hands, she also raised her hand. 15 years of trouble, that was the end.
Hallelujah.
One evening, just like that, the people praying for her never knew the trouble they were praying for, never knew what she was carrying. But that was the end of it. So the woman kept her, and she herself now told the woman her story and what she has been going through all these years. So the woman kept her and looked for us. So anytime, in fact, she got our sister first, our big sister. At that time, she had completed secondary school. And that time I was still in secondary school. My brother was also in technical school. So my sister got to know first, and she gave her life to Christ. My brother got to know, give his life to Christ. And when I also came and saw that the woman was well, I gave my life to Christ. So that is how we all came to Christ, knowing that something that everybody has lost hope. In fact, we have all given hope, given up on her. When you grow up and see that this is your mother, you wouldn't even want her to come close to you for anybody to know that she's your mother. So we have all given up on her until Christ changed her story, and then we agreed to follow this Christ. So sometimes I talk about my achievements in fashion, not because I want to be proud, but because I know where Christ has pulled me from, what He has done, and where He has brought me. I think my life is just a testimony and a miracle.
First of this testimony, in fact, when you were just sharing it, I said, wow, God is so faithful. Beloved, there is nothing God cannot do. I don't know your situation. I don't know what maybe the doctor might have written about your health, what they are telling you. But picking inspiration from what happened, God can do everything. There is nothing God can't do. Hallelujah. So we are so humble to have you, Apostle. We'll continue. In fact, I read Lieutenants of the Church of Pentecost and Man's Depraved Nature, the new one. So I just picked it. My daddy, Apostle Michael Chu, gave it to me. So when I was reading, I got Man's Depraved Nature, and I saw Christian Tsekpoe. Hey, wow, my father is here. And in fact, I've underlined plenty. If you go, I've underlined plenty. One thing he said, let me click from here. Sin started as a voluntary separation of humankind from God. So sin started as a voluntary separation of humankind from God. Then here said depravity is understood in the sense that all people are born sinful and cannot in their own power obey God. A fallen person cannot please God. In fact, I've read a lot. Apostle, you are NB a whole lot. Yeah. You are so blessed. You are so blessed. In fact, how did ministry start? How did it all start? Then
So as I said, because we came to Christ bearing in mind what Christ has done for us, we came with all our hearts. And I didn't come to Christ for Him to do anything for me. I thought that He has done so much, we cannot pay Him. We cannot thank Him enough. There is no words we can use. So I dedicated myself to serving God and to serving in the church. And somehow through that, it looks like leadership have seen the little contributions we were making were recommended and ordained as deacons a year after my conversion, no, a year after my baptism actually. And then 7 years after I became an elder, and then later in 2003, that time I had finished the university, I was then teaching at the Peki College of Education. Then we were called into the full-time ministry at Peki, that was Wo area. Yeah, so we were called into full-time ministry there. And yeah, since then we have been serving. My first station was Bedeku. It's on the Adan Road from Kase towards Adan. Yes, on the main Temablau Road, that side. That's where my first station was. Then from there I came to Sakumono PIWC. Sakumono PIWC. Then I became a lecturer in 2015. So from there I've been pastoring worship centers because of my responsibility as a lecturer. So I've been to Adenta Estate Worship Center. I was in Royal Assembly. I was in Royal Assembly is in East Legon. I was in El Shaddai Assembly, Tantra Hill. I pastored at Abofu Worship Center, Achimota, and then currently at Elang Worship Center. So now, because of my work as a lecturer, I moved from one worship center to
which is within Accra.
All within Accra. Yes. So, of course, my coming to Sakumono too was informed by my teaching, because right at my first station, I became an assistant lecturer because I was teaching a course called Witch Demonology. Who was being handled by the then rector, Apostle Professor Tsekpoe, and then he became chairman, and so I had to handle the course for him. And that time I was now doing my master's, so I couldn't be a lecturer, so I was like an assistant lecturer. So I started teaching from my first station, and that might have even informed my transfer to Sakumono. And I've been in Accra since 2010. 13 years now.
Wow.
Ministry and teaching.
Wow. So how is it going? How do you combine ministry and teaching? Because you prepare reports, you drop programs. How is it going?
It's not easy. Frankly speaking, it's not easy, especially as you continue to grow in the university and you carry on additional responsibilities. You are doing so much in the university. You also have the church you are pastoring. It's not been easy. But the truth of the matter is that I have passion for both. I have passion for teaching and I have passion for pastoring. So I enjoy doing both. And that also puts more pressure on me because if you enjoy something, you want to do it and do it well. And so it doesn't give me time for rest. So as for rest, I struggle to have it. My wife had having a chat with her and she was telling me that she begs me from 2013 at least I should go on leave. And I also know that it's good to go on leave because to be working and not go on leave is quite crucial. So I have promised her that from 2013 this year I'll try at least, if nothing at all, 2 to 3 weeks every year. I'll go on leave. So it's been a very hectic one actually, but we are trusting God who has sustained us all this while to continue sustaining us.
We thank God so much. We'll be bringing the first session to an end very soon. If you just joined us, we are live on ASA TV, and by the grace of God, we have the head of ministerial formation and training here with us, live on ASA TV. Apostle Dr. Christian Tsekpoe is here live with us. We also encourage you, if you want to be a proud sponsor or partner of our media works, you kindly call us. We have the numbers beneath the screen. You can call us. Then we'll have discussions. Our number is 0243 235019. You can reach us on it for you to be a proud partner or sponsor of our works. We have Apostle Dr. Christian Tsekpoe live with us here, and we are looking at the personality profile of Apostle. It's not easy for one to be an apostle of the church. In fact, even to be a deacon is not easy. To be an elder or to be called into full time, it's not easy. And Daddy has served successfully. By the grace of God, we have not heard any bad thing about him. He is a man highly respected, and he keeps on shaping lives. So this is a man you have to listen, you have to hear a lot about. And to conclude with today's one, the next one will be his literature review, books that he has written. He's a great author, and that one we'll look at part 2 next week, God willing. So Apostle, you are truly loved by the youth, an enlightened vessel and a great role model to many. Most places when you go, when you mention Tsekpoe, the Tsekpoe alone, everyone is aware of Tsekpoe. So what's so special about you for this achievement?
Thank you very much. I think that if there is something I can say, I can only say is the grace of God. For me, there is nothing I can put my hand on to say that I did it myself. It's purely grace that has carried me. But one thing I have recognized is that grace comes always with responsibility. So when the grace brings the responsibility, I grab it and I work hard to get it. For instance, if I got opportunity to go and study PhD in Oxford, it's a big opportunity which many people will be looking for. It's a scholarship. But you see, that grace will not put the book into your head. It won't do the PhD for you. I have to stay in the night. I have to study. I have to make sure that I do the needful, knowing that somebody is paying for it. I didn't take it for granted. Then you have the opportunity to go and lecture at Pentecost University College, Pentecost University. It's grace. People are looking for such opportunities to be lecturers. I didn't apply. the church gave me this chance. I want to thank our leaders actually so much for the trust they have reposed in me and for the opportunities they have opened up for me. But I take it serious and I apply myself. I don't just go for lectures, I put in more to make sure that I know my stuff before I go and stand before my students to teach. By the grace of God in Pentecost University, I've risen through the ranks from assistant lecturer to senior lecturer currently. I pray that one day I'll become a professor, and that one is in the future and in the hands of God. But besides that, I've held many positions. I have been the coordinator for the School of Theological Education by extension. I have been the head of department for mission for 3 years. I have also had the privilege to serve as the director for postgraduate studies and research, at least for 1 year. And then currently I'm also the chairman for the board of advisors for the Center for Strategic Philanthropy and Social Investment, which is a center in Pentecost University. And I serve on many other committees, including Appointments and Promotions Committee. I see that grace has really been with me. Then, of course, the big one, which is a new one that has just come, I have just been nominated globally to serve as a member of the Faith and Order Commission of the World Council of Churches.
Wow.
And that one is going to start from this September and into the next 8 years. I'll be a member of that commission. I look back and I say, this one can only be God.
Hallelujah.
It's the grace of God that has done all this. I want to thank God. I want to thank my mentors who have believed in me. I want to thank the Church of Pentecost and Pentecost University. That's all I can say.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah, so do you have any words of advice for those who are listening to you?
Thank you very much. I think that one thing that I've always omitted, which I should quickly say and then give the advice, is the fact that I have a wonderful wife who has been a support, in fact, a pillar, who has really been encouraging me and a source of inspiration. And then I have 3 wonderful children who have also been a source of inspiration. I have a great family that I should thank God for everything, and I want to say God bless them. So for the young people who are listening to me, no matter where you begin from, it will be very okay for you to blame your father that you didn't start well. But it will be wrong to blame your father that you didn't finish well. I think that if you meet Christ, it's enough for Christ to change everything about you. My meeting Christ has transformed my story and picked me from where I was to where I am. I know if you fully give your life to Christ, He can also change your story and make you into a different thing. So Christ will give you the grace, the favor, and the opportunity. Apply yourself to it. Take it seriously. Push hard. You may start as somebody who is not academically intelligent, but you can hold a PhD. Like God has done with me. Hallelujah. God be with you and continue to bless you in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Apostle, we are so humbled to have you. Thank you for joining us live on Asa TV. God willing, next week we'll be live here on Asa TV, 5:00 p.m. next week Sunday. We'll have Apostle joining us. We'll have a literature review of the books that Apostle has written. My name is Michael Asante, and I'm elder of the Church of Pentecost. You can be a proud sponsor or partner of our works. They are the numbers 0243235019. I think, how can people reach you? I think the social media. Yes, and if you want to reach Apostle, you can reach Apostle at Christian Tsekpoe. Christian Tsekpoe, or even when you contact Asa TV, if there is anything,
once you type my name, my Facebook, all the social media handles, I use my name for it, so you can.
We are taking the globe for Christ. Thank you.